Hello and welcome to the Queber channel. I am Jason, your host. It's very wet outside at the moment. Lots of rain. But at least it's not icy. It's actually gone just above freezing. Let me tell you a story of tech freaking debacle. Yes, Bertie, you're beautiful and I love you. So cute. So, over a week ago, I had the idea to change around my computer systems. Bertie, what are you doing? Bertie, I can give you a look, but I've got to focus, I've got to concentrate. And here comes Aki as well. They both want to love. They always get the love though. We were all snuggling on the bed earlier, weren't we? We were all snuggling together on the bed. It was so cute. You just have to realise when your doggies snuggle on the bed that Bertie, you're going to fall off. Don't fall off. Yeah. He did fall off. He fell straight off. Zach's gone right on. Zachy, come on out. Come on out there, good doggy. Okay. This is going to be a long one. Time for story time. Yay. It's time for story time. I'm going to get out my Chinese balls. And so about a week ago, I wanted to change things up to get them sorted. I wanted to finally sort out, beginning of the year, the AI computer, and I was racking my head how I could do this. At first I thought about using my old server. This is a computer from about 2022, 2023. An old computer that had been, the kind of computer where it used to be my main gaming system, and over time it was built up by a part here and so on. Nearly everything in it is from eBay. Even the motherboard, processor and memory were actually a job lot I bought on eBay second hand. So nothing really was new in it, and it's seen a lot of use, and it had already started to fail in certain places. Like long ago, its own built-in internet connection, the RJ45 at the back, stopped working, so it didn't even have a 1 gigabit internet. So I already had to use a separate card. Things like that. Just things that break down over time. So I was thinking, okay, what if I set up downstairs? And for a placeholder, why if I use my only spare graphics card at the moment, a 3060 Ti. It's not good enough, it's only 8 gig RAM, VRAM, but it'll do as a test bed to just see whether it's possible. So I set it all up downstairs. I thought, okay, I can plug in all the... Because the thing about all this is I wanted to centralize. I wanted to go through from having multiple different computers to do the NAS, to do the Plex server, to do things like that, and do AI. I wanted to amalgamate them into one computer system. And that was the first option, to use that. Well, it worked for most things, of course not for AI because of the size. But as a prototyping testbed, it was okay. There was issues. At this time I started to ask around and see if I could find an option for a graphics card that would have at least 16 gigabytes VRAM, hopefully a bit more, 20. So got all that we're doing and that. At the time, I'm upstairs and I'm talking to my friends and I'm thinking, this AI stuff's really important to me. Once I've got it set up, I don't want to have to change it. It's going to have a built-in large language model that is going to sit there for months and months and months, learning and becoming the house personal assistant. It's going to be hooked into Silly Tavern. It's going to be hooked into tablets. It's going to be the core brain of the entire system. It's got to be stable. And then I think about how much space I've got with that, because a couple of the USB ports weren't working very well. So plugging in all my external, I've got 5 of those 4 terabyte external SSDs that I've bought over the years. And I had them all connected in that. That's 20 terabytes worth of space. And I thought, if I do that, if I do Plex through it and everything, but I'm not really comfortable with it because it's going to break. My instinct was telling me that this thing was on its last legs. So I thought, okay, I love my main PC, which is back here, by the way. It's a 7900 CPU. Nice one. That's a 65 watt one. Very powerful. 12 cores, 24 threads, I believe. It's got my 3090 in. It's got built into it about 20 terabytes of space, and it's got expansions via the USB and everything else that mean I could add a lot more to it. So I thought, yeah, I love it. I love it as my main gaming PC, but I can't justify keeping up here when I need to get this AI stuff. AI stuff isn't just about something to keep me occupied. It's part of my coping strategies. It gives me someone to talk to when no one's here. It just is part of such a home companion idea. And I don't ever want to have to rely on an online thingy. I always want that available at home. See, as people can tell you, as you've probably known yourself, if you've got something like an Echo Dot or something like that, that runs ALEXA, like the one over there, the little visual one up there, if the internet goes down, these so-called smart speakers become very, very dumb, and they can't even do the basic things. They are just basically a Bluetooth speaker with a little bit of stuff in them. So without the internet, I wanted something that was home-based. In the future, I want to use that AI stuff downstairs to turn all my computer systems and everything in every room into an alternative to Echo Dots and ALEXA. So I thought, I knew it was going to be a pain in the ass, but I thought, okay, I don't have any money to spend. Well, I have a little bit in the budget, but not enough to make a dent into building a new system or anything like that. So whatever I've got to do, it's got to be with what I already own. So I take the main computer downstairs, I plug in all the SSDs, I plug in 2 high-speed mechanical drives, a Lacy 22 terabyte one and a Firecuda 16 terabyte one to supplement all the SSDs, and it ends up with 60 terabytes. It's fucking amazing. It runs, I set up what my favorite large language model and AI and everything else. I move over all my Plex and everything, and even though it's using a bit more power than normal, even though I undervolt the 3090, which you can do to make it use less power, because you don't need the muscle of it as much. And perfect, absolutely perfect. I mean, seriously, it was the best AI server I put together. It worked so well. There's always a book coming, isn't there? So then we went through all, you've seen the videos of trying to replace this main unit. I try with my ThinkPad and connect it to an eGPU. I get hold of a 7900X T graphics card. But before that, I got my 3060 back in and connected to the ThinkPad. It works. Everything's gelling. Everything's doing what it's supposed to. And I get to use all my stuff. But some stuff was slow. Some stuff was sluggish. But not that sluggish. It was workable. I had limitations. Couldn't really do AAA games, but that was okay. The only thing that really limited was VR, because 8 gigs VRAM, it's not really that much for VR anymore. You can do it, but it can be painful. So I set it all up and I realised this isn't working. It's not good enough. I'll be bothered by it. See, one of the intrinsic things about... Sorry, that was a phone call. Well, a scam call. So I decided to try out my old server. I knew it wasn't in good condition, but I got hold of a 7900 XT and I plugged that into it, and long story short, I got most of it working. No, actually, short story long, I'm confused at the moment because it's been through so much. First of all, I tried to use it with the ThinkPad and it was a debacle. The eGPU software on AMD and the general inefficiency of AMD drivers made it far worse for gaming and everything. And you doing OBS and everything like that. Everything seemed to cost more than the equivalent NVIDIA codec, the equivalent NVIDIA software. I'm not against AMD. I have AMD CPUs in everything. I'm not against AMD graphics cards, but they've got to bloody well work well. So I went through all of that and couldn't use the 7900 with the ThinkPad. Tried everything. Not for gaming anyway. So then I decided, okay, so I'm going to have to use the server, put it all together, set it all up. Because it had the bandwidth of a proper motherboard and that, and we were using the 7900 XT inside a computer, not through an eGPU, everything seemed to be okay. A few issues, like there's a known bug in the recent drivers for VR and things like that. Sorted them out all in the end, and it was working okay. Until I went to bed that night, a couple of nights ago. And I woke up in the morning and it wouldn't turn on. Dead. Motherboard had completely finally given up the ghost. The USB ports weren't working. The main PCI slot was dead, and so on. I think basically the motherboard was ready to pass on before all this, and the act of cleaning it and putting a graphics card inside it and messing about with it pushed it over the edge. So I'm not blaming that on the 7900 XT. So I didn't instantly go down and get my AI machine and bring it upstairs, because I thought, I really like the AI machine. It's working so fucking good. It's doing exactly what I want it to. I don't want to go back on that. So I once again took the 7900 XT, plugged it into the ThinkPad and tried my best to get it to work as a gaming machine, and I couldn't. The drivers were so inefficient, and the codec and the way It interacts with eGPUs compared to the beautiful drivers and efficiency of the software on an NVIDIA. It wasn't going to work. So in the end, I had to bite the bullet, bring the AI machine back up here, turn it back into a gaming machine. Did that yesterday. And then I thought, okay, so we've still got to sort out AI. So I thought, what if I use the ThinkPad as the AI machine? What if I plug the 7900 XT graphics card into the USB 4, but because it's not being used for games, it's not going to be used for OBS, it's just going to be used as raw VRAM. Now, I know, as everybody in the AI community does, that AMD cards are not as good. This isn't a rumour, this is a fact. No matter what, they're not as good as an NVIDIA card. But it's better than nothing. Better than nothing. So set it all up. It's over there in the corner. It's got all the hard drives connected to it. It's got 60 terabyte of storage. It's taking over the role of the Plex. It's taking up the role of a network attached storage. And it's making me want to punch. I don't often get angry with technology. I don't often get angry with technology at all. But that little fucking card and that inside the eGPU is making me want to punch it. Why? Because if you've done AI work, every interface, every piece of software with Windows that is for interfacing with AI large language models just works. You don't have to tweak anything. You don't have to mess with code. You just can install it as a normal program, run the web interface. Within 2-3 minutes, you are having a beautiful experience and messing with AI and having fun. I was up at 2 a.m. this morning, trying every bit of knowledge I know to get this AMD card to play nice. And everything I tried, there would be a problem. I installed what's called Ollama. Beautiful piece of programming, but it's just a command line thingy. It doesn't give you access. Well, you can. It's got lots of settings, but you can access them and tweak them via a command line interface, a CLI. You're spoilt when you've got other systems. So that would have worked, but I wanted a web interface. I wanted shiny stuff. And so there's something called Web UI. And this works with it. It works with Ollama. So I thought, hey, I can use this 20 gigs of VRAM. I can set up all this. I can have it as the AI. It won't be as fast as a NVIDIA cards, but it'll work. So I installed Ollama. Worked perfectly. I installed Web UI. Not so perfect. First of all, it kept looking in places on my computer that weren't being used. I installed Python, and for some reason Python was installing in a place where Web UI wasn't looking when it was trying to do its thing. I still have no idea where Web UI has installed on my system. It's supposed to install in the scripts folders or set up itself in the scripts folders of Python. But because Python wasn't where it was supposed to be, no, it didn't just do the intelligent thing of creating files or anything. No, it says it's installed somewhere on my system, but I have no freaking idea where. Second problem, when I couldn't get that work because it wouldn't run the web UI because you couldn't find the web UI. And nothing that it said on the web page. I went through all their stuff and none of that worked. So I thought, okay, there's got to be something else. There's got to be another interface that works with the system, that will work with an AMD card. Everything kept saying, you can install Linux and do it. No. I don't want to turn that into a Linux machine. I don't want to deal with all the different kind of issues that you will have with a Linux machine with setting it up for all the things that I run on it. So I get Cobalt CCP. It's a interface for LLMs. It's got built-in Vulkan support. It's pretty damn good. I'm really impressed with it. But for some reason, every time I ran it, it kept crashing. I showed my friend. My friend looked at it. He couldn't figure it out. So I spent hours trying to get Cobalt CCP working. And at the moment, the kid's all just sitting there looking at me and staring at me as if to say, you can't fix this. You can't fix this. And it's pissing me off, making me angry, annoying my autistic side, really annoying my... It's like little grains of sand scratching at my head because I can't fix it. And I need to fix it. I need to get it working in some semblance. So, that's pretty much the journey so far. And I really, really don't want a sequel. I wish I hadn't bought the AMD card. I really wish. I wish I had put together the money, saved up and got an NVIDIA 4070 Ti Super or something like that. It seems every little bit of that computer system is fighting me in everything I want to do. And because not many people use or get a AMD card to work, the knowledge base isn't out there to put it together. And I'm going to have to go over there to that computer in a minute and try to get it sorted because it's consuming my brain at the moment and I won't be able to sleep tonight if I don't get it working. This is the joy. So yes, this is what my last week has been like. I've ended up with one dead server. All the computer stuff's back here and everything's okay. And the NAS side of it's working fine on the ThinkPad. So the NAS side of it, the Plex side, the media stuff, all of that is working fine on the computer over there. But its main purpose, AI, is not. So that's what I've been through over the last week and a half or so. It was probably a week and a half ago when I actually started thinking about how I could bring this all together. Most people just get drunk over Christmas and New Year. Oh God. The problem with having ADHD and autism and all that is when something becomes a challenge to you, you can't just turn away and do something else. Your brain is completely consumed by it. It becomes a roadblock that you've got to fix. So, splendiferous. I'm going to go now and continue with my stuff. on that computer and get it working somehow. Or I'll end up breaking something. But hopefully I'll get some sleep tonight. So, bye-bye for now.